uh, overall the Toku framework, they help the tax force we government set up for ensure say we respond to them kind challenges and they effectively.
All right. Now, as you don't mention social media, now one of the biggest problem at this moment we'll get. Take you back to the August 10, November 26 fail coup, and we all know say social media contribute a lot towards some of them issues and they will happen. What the ONS don't they do for let people and begin get the right information so that they're not go into things them where go bring instability in the country.
Yes, I shall say after August 2022, the August 8, 9, 10 event, and even to the bigger one, the attempted coup of November 26, a lot of other calls that don't make the rounds using the same kinds of methods from the same set of people just for trick people and for go do things away the outside of the law. But I tell you, in all of them calls and the people they don't say no, we know they fall for this kind thing again because they in with interest, it resonates with a reality, and therefore we go listen to within the relevant authorities there. We be done they tell we then kind information them. We will not listen to and go get yourself into them problems. We will now listen to them. After August 2022, the security sector leadership used extensively the communications assets, particularly the security sector strategic communications unit. We comprise all of the security sector institutions, ONS, police, military. We engage various platforms for talk to people from traditional media platforms using non-conventional methods, social media, do write-ups, go to communities, etc., etc. Forget people if we understand why they for do certain thing there and why they not for do certain thing them. Within are the implications if they get themselves involved in activities we go ordinarily negatively impact the community. The security sector leadership also been joined that kind call day. I tell you, there had been situations where you see the chief of defense staff, the inspector general of police, the national security coordinator at the office of national security, they all kind of street go to communities, talk to people, and use loudspeakers, assure them, and then give them the requisite information away from the lies where other people have been on the pedal. So their approach and they don't go a long way for ensure that we diffuse the tensions and we bring the correct information onto people, because we always all say that we now with responsibility of provide safety and security for the people of Sierra Leone. And in doing so, we have to take the people along so that they can understand exactly why we do what we do, how we do, and also we expect them for complement with efforts. Beyond them kind of engagements, we don't get also one-on-one meetings, various groupings, even before the elections, after the elections, including political parties, the National Security Coordinator and colleagues them, and they call them in rooms, talk to them, and ask them for also cascade same information onto the listenership or to the people who they follow them, whether na bike riders or whether na petty traders or whether na political parties or all of the youth groups that we think of, for student leaders at various universities across the country. We they engage them, and all of what they do at the national level will they also replicate same at the provincial, district, and chiefdom levels. So far we think say that one they don't really create positive impact for diffuse attention. Yes, social media na one way can for stay. That are the reality. About balancing the urge for liberal democratic framework, we respect freedoms of expressions, various freedoms, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, or anything we have to do, but also for balance with your responsibilities. Now that only we don't always preach on to members of the public that when you express your desire for enjoy certain freedoms, certain thing that will plant you as a person. Also, don't forget, say, to every freedom you get corresponding responsibilities. Not only project the freedom and forget about your responsibility, because you right for talk. Now, one way sacred, but you right for talk, not also for hamper the security of a community, hamper the security of another person. Now, that make we get various laws. Say, for example, libel, even though they don't put the serious libel law. Well, if you libel a person, there are channels where the person will able to take you through and that kind of thing. For life and people, for call for violence or for call for arms, they one did not fall within the realm of freedom of expression. So most them now the misuse of words or even misuse of a concept now can make people and think say a get right for say I can cause person, I can call for violence, I can call for harms against other people them, and therefore I'm right at the exercise. So that is not accepted anywhere in the whole world, even in most liberal democratic countries. Some speech they were protected. Other speech they were not protected because if you do a speech, say for example, I go team up now the tower and say they can shoot all manner. Now words I don't express, but then words and how they resonate. Are they words that anybody will just sit idly by and allow you for go? Even if what if you talk and really you mean them and you put it into action? So that make regulations, legislation so they enact now every country. Now one the way mean for less sanity prevail in a society. Now the easy way make it we different from other species on earth. Because we get laws the way they guide we. Animal then at the kingdom, they not get laws. So I can just grab as lion and kill other one as long as I get trained person. Nobody will go ask me question. In fact, the more kill I make, the more I appear for be the strongest person or the giant in the jungle. But that's not to the case with human societies. Human societies get regulations. You get right for do A, B, and C, but you also get corresponding responsibilities. That do things within the framework of the law, do things within the confines of the law, then you are home and dry. So over the period, now that one then don't be the kind of mantra where most people they misuse that concept and they for put people into harm. So I wish we big country, we big brothers and Nigeria, for example, or even Kenya, for don't learn some lessons from we, because what thing will happen in August 8, 9, and 10, or even November 26. That one way they now the psyche of the entire world, including particularly Africa. So they think say people if don't learn from their lessons and they and do things and way they're within the provisions of the law. I mean, if you look at the pictures, gory pictures, Nigeria, where people always say that they do demonstrations, then they loot other people in shops, then they destroy other people in property, they destroy property we mean for the benefit of the entire country. That one they away from civil disobedience or something will go be accepted in any society. Now the same thing then they happen at other places. So I think say we go continue for learn also from them, even though we expect them for don't learn the lesson from we as a country for learn from 1980 that most of violence they solve any problem. In fact, it creates more problems than solving any problem.
All right, before we can look at the policy proper one, how often the office can do assessment rate?
So if you like, we almost do assessments on a weekly, daily, quarterly, yearly, depending on the prevailing circumstance. So some thinking they where we do assessments based on information relating to a particular concept. Let's say, for example, smuggling they take place in a particular place. We want to identify what are the factors the way they lead to their smuggling activities and so we get a unit within the Office of National Security. We also populated by other players. If now one we get a national picture, all of them they come together, whether not police, military, under the guise of developing concepts around intelligence, and develop a concept and do an assessment, providing information to the research and assessment department, and do an assessment on that concept day, and find a way for nip them in the board or for resolve them if it don't happen. Nationally, every year we do national threat assessment, we call it NIR. We develop national threat requirements, and they do the NTA national threat assessment every 2 years, depending on what thing they happen. We present down it to the relevant authorities, all of the stakeholder institutions. Then they contribute into that document day. We will now use as a baseline for identify which are the common threats that we get for do with the security of Sierra Leone, whether social issues, whether issues we get for do with the economic situation, whether issues we get for do with disaster management, issues we get for do with espionage. So we they put all in the bag. After we don't identify the threats and we don't do thorough assessment and put them into layers, into levels, whether it is high threat, if it happens, so waiting will be the impact. Other than the people and we potentially go for engaging that day and waiting for address them kind of concerns and even before they generate. So they now develop a national intelligence requirement based on the national threat assessment we don't do. or the document we will now get, we will now say, okay, we don't identify this. Now this institution I get responsibility for address this one. We send it on to them. Say, for example, Ministry of Education, or for example, Ministry of Fisheries. Bokutin and it happen at the water side. They need this kind of policy for resolve there, and they will bring and come onto their attention. So everybody within the bar gets in own role for play. But even before we go on for develop the national threat assessment, we send what we call souvenirs or questionnaire onto various government ministries, departments, and agencies, including civil society, for asks about the common threats within they face in terms of challenges, in terms of challenges relating to resources for them to carry out, manpower, and so on and so forth, and how the overall picture going for help them for resolve them one day. So now that kind thing they would do at some level, under the Joint Intelligence Committee, that committee they constitutes of the heads of intelligence agencies, where they come the National Security Coordinator and head of that committee. They now one of the most important committees now within the security sector. They meet every week, no matter what happen, whether na pre-day, whether na anything, any event will happen. That committee they don't meet since the term where they begin for meet in 2002. So they develop them threats and then do assessment on them threats and present them for the attention of the National Security Council Coordinating Group for consideration. And if they now think, say, yes, this one, it meets XYZ in terms of operationalization, they will give the clearance and the operations will be carried out for resolve that problem there.
All right. So at this moment, will we safe? Because the reason why I ask now that remember some time back, we supposed to forget a standby force. Firstly, as a country, we safe?
Yes, I think it's clear that Salona is a safe country. I just mentioned, say, that we're relatively peaceful, and when they talk about peace, we mean get challenges here and there. Even in most peaceful country now, the world not go tell you say they don't get challenges, get agitations here and then. Our ability as a country for respond or resolve that kind rank on it are very much important. So Salona is a safe country. The coming of the ECOWAS standby force, we don't explain them over and again. I think they probably don't clearly understand them. Even from we or from the people, they say we get for can do this deployment and so on and so forth, ECOWAS, AU, and so on and so forth. They don't make clearly which are the motive behind the coming of an ECOWAS standby force. This kind idea done in the pipeline for the longest time, 10, 20, 15 years down the line. This will be the plan for ECOWAS for ensure say we get a place within the region, within the sub-region, we will provide that kind base for support ECOWAS in terms of providing intervention, whether in country or outside of the country, for anything we get for do with the safety and security of the country. We don't mention, say, like, as a country, we identify, say, safety and security, and one that we're very germane to development. And the same thing now ECOWAS get, now Mana River gets as a concept, and the same thing AU get. So we don't find out, say, over the period, a lot of things and they will threaten the stability of Africa, the stability of West Africa, the stability of the Mana River Union. And for let you address then challenges that we get for do with economic development, then it means you get for pay attention onto security. So the standby force will get for Kamna Saloon, for can support all of the relevant structures and support ECOWAS for provide support to other countries that will require that kind of thing. Because as a continent, we don't learn a lot of things that don't happen over the period, whether na wars, whether na attempted coups, whether na anything we get for do with the instability of the country, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and so on and so forth. So you need a kind of a force. We will be prepared for provide support no sooner as that kind of thing happen. This not to the first term. In fact, ECOWAS they provide support to Salone or to other countries. Other countries they don't be beneficiaries of that kind of thing. And so Salone for be proud that we're able for hosts or be honored for be given this kind of opportunity for host a whole ECOWAS standby force, so that anytime where something happen any side, not to that not the wish, but in human societies. Within the security landscape, things and fluid, things and can change. People can get different intentions at some point. When that kind of thing happen, you get a force so you go tap from and then provide response. Don't forget, say ECOWAS now a combination of different countries. Each of them countries get a military officers them. But if you now talk about ECOWAS is say not get a kind of a standing army, a standing military. Now from the individual countries them. Now they contribute to the army, them troop, then they what we call ECOMOG or ECOMISIL as the case may be. So in this case, an ECOMISIL we will come together people and from various countries when are military officers who can provide that kind support. So if you like now the ECOWAS military, we will go for the in a salon for provide support. Well, if you now in a salon, you go oversee what they happen as alone and also look outward in case of anything we require intervention immediately.
Continue for the with me inside the program in name na Abdul Karim Will, na the Director of Strategic Communications and Spokesperson Office of National Security. As una read updates but waiting on the happen Office of National Security in terms of security for the country. We'll go for a break. We'll look at the national security policy and strategy where the President pull na do this BNTM.
We pledge with love and loyalty to we country Sierra Leone. Let we come together, let we walk as one for the better of Salone.
I like for listen Salone today every Sunday because they bring out the issue we get for do with Salone development.
We not remove the machines, we not cut the cables, we not move the poles, the infrastructure then they.
Waiting will be done produce for this country as at the time when the left power will go into elections. Now be 99 megawatts, not even up to 100. We mean say out of the 1,000 megawatt we will not promise, not even 10% will not be able to generate.
As far as we see Leone and they know, we don't concern for ensuring certain things the way Saloma need like electricity. We not for even give me a chance to not cry for them.
Well, now then kind discussion can be every Sunday. Now the program Salone today, where Radio Democracy they bring can to you with different issues them. We get to deal with security, policy, the economy, environment, and plenty other one them. Once it concerns national development. So listen Salone today every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock after.
And loyalty to we country Sierra Leone. Let we come together, let we walk as one for the better of Salone.
I like for listen Salone today every Sunday because they bring out the issue we get for do with Salone development.
We not remove the machines, we not cut the cables, we not move the poles, the infrastructure then they.
Waiting will be done produce for this country as at the time when the left power will go into elections. Now be 99 megawatts, not even up to 100. We mean say out of the 1,000 megawatt we will not promise, not even 10% will not be able to generate.
As far as we see Leone and they know, we don't concern for ensuring certain things the way Saloma need like electricity. We not for even give me a chance to not cry for them.
Well, now then kind discussion can be every Sunday. Now the program Salone today, where Radio Democracy they bring can to you with different issues them. We get to deal with security, policy, the economy, environment, and plenty other one them. Once it concerns national development. So listen Salone today every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock after.
The program na Salone today will come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Still inside the studios, we get Abdul Karim Will. We come out na Office of National Security as we there for look at the national security policy and strategy. Will, what are the motive behind this particular policy where the president pull na do this BNTM?
Okay, the development of the national security policy and strategy is in line with section 18(1)(b) and 4 of the National Security and Central Intelligence Act of 2023. We replaced and repealed and replaced the National Security and Central Intelligence Act of 2002. That act it provides the National Security Coordinator now will be responsible for the development of all policy documents relating to security for and on behalf of the security sector and the government of Sierra Leone. So now in recognition of the fact one of the core functions of every government, any government, are for provide safety and security for its citizenry. And security don't be considered as a precondition for sustainable and economic development. We mean say at the core and confidence of every citizens on the government, now how the government able to provide safety and security for in citizen them. If government not able to provide security, the people then go ask. They go ask relevant questions. Why we get government? So these are because security they are the top notch in terms of ranking for the thing the way you need for do for the betterment of you people. Recognizing this one, now that make the national security coordinator be mobilized and pull together the various resources, human and material resources, with support from international partners, the government of Sierra Leone, the German government, GIZ implementing the program. We've been come together and say, let we continue discussions for the development of a national comprehensive strategy and policy for Salone. Mark you, we be done they exist as a state and we be done they provide security since independence to now. So somebody go out for acts, what will be done they use in terms of policy, in terms of strategy. Each individual agency within the security sector get the policies and get the strategies for security provision. For example, the military get the defense white paper. We use as a yardstick for provide safety and security. The police get their own. Fire Force, Office of National Security. But now, we think it don't become imperative for there we get a comprehensive document which will serve as a framework, as a guide for see how Salone 1-4 respond to threats, whether not current threats or future one them. And these documents holistic about what we need as core values for we people in terms of a security service delivery. So now this document, now in His Excellency the President will launch a couple of days ago, particularly on the 8th of August 2024, now the Foreign Ministry Academy for Pulado this document so that it will now serve as a blueprint for security service provision for Salone. So the document says it describe the fundamental values where Salone get, where Salone prioritize for national security and public safety. The policy in SSF, now what we want in terms of security service delivery for Salone, the strategy and how we want for Duam. So what we want and how we want for Duam now embedded in this document. Now a practical document where they allow all elements of the security sector for align sector specific strategies and internal policies for security sector provision. And it means we won't forget a pathway. We go be well defined, we go be precise, we go be one, we go take everything and anything on board. So if you like the policy in a blueprint, we go get for serve the test of time for security service provision. Fully guided, gets a more responsive security sector institution, get a more accountable security sector institution, a kind of a policy we go ensure we change the landscape in terms of security service delivery, empower our officers them, provide the necessary tools so that they then go able to carry out their function in line with normal or modern democratic security provision. So overall, now that one is the essence of this document. And like I say, this one, again, the buy-in of everybody, both stakeholders in country and stakeholders outside of the country. Now that are the reason during the launch or even before the launch, all of the relevant stakeholder institutions, ranging from government ministries, departments and agencies, heads of security sector institutions, people from other ministries, people from diplomatic organizations, the US Embassy, the British High Commission, European Union, the German government, ECOWAS Peace Commission, and all of the relevant structures, including AU, they all put hands together for ensuring we get these documents completed and be launched and be ready for dissemination onto every Sierra Leonean person across the country. Well, our state say, even before we put all of the things that we will put as content in this document, we will get nationwide engagement.
Because that's I want to ask, say, how will come about for reach the points of some of the things that were inside this document? Is it consultation meeting when I get with stakeholders? Then?
Serious and effective consultations across all of the chiefdoms in Sierra Leone, all of the relevant stakeholders. Then come and say, what do we want? What do you want? Say, for example, Bumpe Chiefdom, na Moyamba District. What do you want for the security of your chiefdom, for the security of your villages, for the security of Sierra Leone? Then put them. And then they cut across all of 192 thereabout chiefdoms across the country. Now that one day now we piece together and then present them. There was a technical committee, the chief of staff at the Office of National Security, Naina be head of that committee there, and then present them to the National Security Council Coordinating Group, which are the highest body for the consideration of all matters relating to the security of Sierra Leone. After that presentation day, members of that committee they be make their inputs, who say for strengthen, waiting for add, waiting for reduce, and that kind of thing, they waiting for omit. And then when the NSCCG don't now feel satisfied that it don't reach a threshold, they present this draft to the National Security Council. The National Security Council are the highest forum for the consideration and determination of all matters relating to security. Then present them back now that committee day. That was on the 2nd of November 2023. After thorough scrutiny and examination, the National Security Council now been give the endorsement of the document. We now been lead to the printing of this document and then part of the directives and for launch them, like what the president we don't do, and then popularize them across the country so that what will not be done say don't now be put into documents. It don't now be put into black and white. Now we can present to now, we discuss around them, and then it will be ready for implementation. Because we not just put documents together, we not just put words into paper. We also want for ensure say we effectively put them into practice, because that one is the reason for which we even go to that extent for developing a document of this nature. Looking at the threats where they confront Sierra Leone, both internally, globally, and even at the regional level.
All right, let's look at the time frame. Most policy or strategic plan gets a time frame. Some man can say it's 5 years, some man na 10 years. For this particular document, waiting at the time frame.
So you rightly state say all documents, all policies get time frames. Depending on the nature of things, then go determine how long or how many time you want for it be. This document not to an exception. Every situation not static. In fact, if any situation they were fluid, it not go be one like security. Security now one way very fluid. Now one way they change at any time. So until they talk about one particular concept of security, by the time we think about resolving that one the way you get na your hand, new one they don't come. Now they talk about misuse of social media. Trade, it almost non-existent, but now it don't become a very core thing at the center of security sector provision. So for this one, because of the comprehensive nature of them, and because of the thing that we don't be put into and the stakeholders we don't be involved, the resources don't be expended. It can be one we go base for 10 years. Thereafter, we can do review.